Good morning and welcome to the Red Mic. Happy Monday. Glad you're here today. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. This morning's Red Mic message, a little bit of a scattershot of sorts, a lot of thoughts. Hit the old noggin over the weekend. So let's start with the one that you may have already seen a little bit, but I got the chance to go do another national anthem just out of the blue. Family friend, actually her daughter and my younger son Daniel had gone to school together, elementary school. Emmy Powell and her mom Ellie Powell. Well, Ellie just called us out of the blue on Saturday afternoon and said, "Hey, Patrick, I've got some friends and business contacts out at Circuit of the Americas. They're with Moto America and their Superbike championships, and they said, hey, our national anthem person had some conflicts and had to bow out last minute. You know anybody?" Well, Ellie had seen when I did the national anthem at the Round Rock Express game a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "Well, it's funny you mentioned that because yeah, I do. Let me reach out and see if he's available." She reached out. I was available. So last minute, we're scrambling, and I'm getting the Moto America people a list of folks that I would like to come with us. And so yesterday, go out. Coda has been out there for a while now, and I've never been out there. Ellie's advice was it's hot out there. That's not all she said, but that's what I'm going to say right now. It was hot out there, and she said, so be prepared for that, and sunscreen and plenty of liquids and all of that. So next thing I know, I'm talking to the folks with Moto America, and man, it was fun. Great facility. Those motorcycles are just crazy fast. Saw a really, I wish I knew which rider this was, but one of the motorcycle riders, one of the racers, they've if you've ever seen professional motorcycle racing, they wear these skid pads on their knees because as they're going around those corners and they're leaning, their knees actually touch the pavement. He saw this little kid had on his number. Now, of course, the kid didn't put the number on, his parents did, but he pulls off one of his knee pads, about that big around, hands it to the little boy, and he just looked up like, wow, what am I supposed to do with this? Now, of course, mom and dad picked it up because they knew that they needed to hang on to that because little man was probably going to drop it or lose it or something. But that sort of fan interaction, you always love to see it, and I wish I knew who that rider was. Hopefully, if my son Daniel or his girlfriend Chloe remember who that rider was, maybe they can put his number in the comments. But anyway, just goes to show you what I'm always preaching about: having a good circle of friends and professional contacts. Because of course, Ellie had friends and professional contacts, and I'm friends with her, and she was able to get us hooked up to go out there and do the national anthem, and it was a lot of fun. I'd like to thank her. Also, Neil and Stacy Francois. Glad they were able to come out. Chloe Francois and her boyfriend, my son Daniel, was thrilled that they were able to come. Last but not least, of course, my bride. She's always super supportive with everything I do, and I'm incredibly lucky to have her in my life, hitting way above my average with her. Anyway, so that's just a little bit. Other things I wanted to talk about this morning. Well, first of all, notice the glare. In what world is that anti-reflective? Seriously. Anyway, okay. Deion Sanders. I've always been a huge Dion fan. He was mouthing off last year, and yeah, I really wanted Colorado to do well last year, and they kind of, you know, imploded. This year they've been, you know, I think they're 2-1 now, but the one loss they had was, kind of embarrassing. But this weekend in mop-up time, it's a cross-state rival. They're Colorado, and it was Colorado State. But you're in mop-up time. You're winning. You're gonna win the game. Pull your starters. You got your son who has pro aspirations, and you got him out there flinging passes while you're definitely in a game situation that you're gonna win. And he got hit. He wasn't injured, thankfully, but he could have been. It reminds me of a local coach here who several years ago, the heart and soul of his defense. They're in mop-up time against a team. He keeps all of his starters in. Heart and soul of his defense, a linebacker goes down with an injury. He's out for the rest of the season. Now, chances are this team was not going to be moving on in the playoffs very far, but, be smart. Take your starters off the field if there's no reason to have them out there other than to run up the score and try to make somebody look bad. I will never understand that mindset. Never, never, never. More about good backups and having a good transition plan. If you were watching the Longhorn game this weekend, Quinn Ewers went down. Still haven't heard the full extent of the injury. I know it. They were looking at his hand, but I know that the official reason was abdominal strain of some type. Haven't heard if you know how long he's going to be out, or if they've even said. I actually looked this morning and couldn't find anything. But Quinn Ewers and the Longhorns, Quinn went down. Arch Manning, kid's just a stud, came in, 5 touchdowns. Now, granted, they're playing UTSA. Really, come on, it's UTSA. God bless them. But he came in. They didn't skip a beat, and the Longhorns beat UTSA. They beat them down pretty hard, and that's the importance of having a good transition plan, because sometimes if you bring in a backup, you don't know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates out there, right? Arch came in, he did his job, he knew his plays, and the offense didn't skip a beat. So congrats to Arch for doing that. Hope Quinn gets better soon and can get back out there. But Coach Sarkisian, good job, man. Good job. That's all I got to say. All right. The meat of today's Red Mike message. I've had this pinned up at the top of my page for a while, and I don't think I've ever actually mentioned it in a broadcast version of the Red Mike message. But as you know, I coach kid football. Did it for 9 years before I ever had kids of my own, and then took several years off until my younger son wanted to play, Daniel. Then I put in 7 more years coaching him before I hung it up for good. And yes, I do still miss it, and I do still joke with my wife that I'm going to go out there again and start with a flag team and coach them all the way up through middle school. And she's like, "No, you're not." But a lot of those old coaching adages I found still work in life. I just mentioned this one to a friend of mine this weekend over Facebook. She had said that her grandson was playing in his first ever football game as a middle schooler. He'd never played before that. And I told her, my number one rule when I coached football was, if you can't see it, don't hit it. Now in football, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you can't see something, don't go hit it, because if you don't see it, chances are it's because your head is down. If your head's down, you're in real good position to hurt your neck or your back, or even worse, right? So if you can't see it, don't hit it. Well, that also works in life. You got to keep your eye on the target, not just for safety, but also for accuracy. Keep your feet parallel like railroad tracks. Now, as a lineman, that's to make sure that all of the mechanics of your body are doing what they're supposed to do. Like that. If you turn one foot like that or like that to try to get you think you're trying to get a little bit better leverage and a little bit better push, but really what you're doing is you're reducing the amount of power that you're able to put behind your push there, right? Well, it's a question of being balanced. You got to be balanced, not just in sports, but also in life. Keep your back straight. Also, pretty self-explanatory. It's a way to prevent injuries. It's also to have the mechanics of your body doing the right thing at the right time. Apply that to life. Keep your back straight. Slouching and hunching does more than impact your posture and the way people view you. If you're slouching and hunching, it can end up permeating the rest of your attitude. And you don't want that. So, if you can't see it, don't hit it. Keep your feet parallel like railroad tracks. Keep your back straight. And then last but not least, one that I used to like to tell my kids, knock them down, help them up, tell them you'll be back soon. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you find it helpful. I hope you accept my apology for being a little scattershot this morning on a Monday, but had a lot to talk about, little vignettes here and there. So hope you will be back again tomorrow. I would appreciate a like, a follow, and a share. I love you guys. I'm glad you're here. Feel free to give me any comments down below. And again, please give me a like, a follow, and a share. I'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, life is short. Drink the bourbon.